My name is Elise. And the girl I once called my best friend? She became my stepmom. No, this isn't some twisted teen drama. This is my life. Veronica was the person I trusted the most. The one who knew all my secrets, my pain, my fears, even the aching loss I felt after my mother died. She knew. And still she married my father. At first, I thought it was just a phase, a weird rebound, a desperate man trying to fill a void. But then I saw how she smiled when she moved into our house, how she changed her Instagram bio to wifey, how she decorated the bedroom that once belonged to my mom, with zero shame. This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about what happens when someone steals your life, and you build a better one just to burn theirs down. Why do you look so shocked? Veronica said, smiling over champagne. Her lips glossed, her nails French-tipped. I told you I wanted a rich, older guy. She didn't mention that the guy was my father. I didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't beg her to stop. I just stared at her. The restaurant suddenly felt too quiet, too clean, like the world had paused for me to choose. Explode? Or endure? She tilted her head. Elise, are you okay? I blinked. Then I smiled. The kind of smile that hurts your cheeks because it's hiding something sharp underneath. Wow, didn't see that coming. Really? She laughed. Come on, your dad's a total silver fox. No, he was my dad. The man who tucked me in at night, who cried when mom passed away. The man who had no business sleeping with my best friend, much less marrying her. But here we were. I looked at her hand. A fat diamond sat on her ring finger. He proposed? Last night, in Italy. He flew me out as a surprise. I knew about that trip. Dad had said he needed a break, that he was going alone, liar. She leaned forward like she was telling me a secret. You should be happy. We're gonna be sisters now. No, I thought. We're gonna be enemies. I should have seen it coming. The late-night texts, the way Veronica always lingered at my house even after our hangouts ended, the sudden way she started dressing up every time she knew my dad would be home. But nothing prepares you for the moment you realize your best friend was never really your best friend. When she married my dad, the media loved it. Socialite beauty marries millionaire widower. I kept my face out of the pictures. She made sure hers was front and center. Veronica was 27. My dad? 62. He called it love. I called it desperation. Hers for money, his for youth. But there was one thing she didn't know I knew. She was pregnant. And the baby? It wasn't my dad's. It started 6 months before the wedding. One night we were out at some rooftop lounge downtown. She had just gone through another breakup with some tech bro named Lucas and was spiraling in her usual way. Shots, flirting, fake crying. She disappeared for 20 minutes that night. When she came back, her lipstick was smudged and her phone kept buzzing. You good? I asked. She just smiled. Always. The guy was married, a hedge fund manager. Veronica bragged about it once, laughing about how stupid his wife was. I never forgot the name. When she started visiting our house more frequently, I noticed the change. She stopped drinking, stopped smoking. She said she was on a health kick. But I remembered her face in the mirror that morning after she threw up and blamed bad oysters. I knew the signs. I didn't say anything. Not yet. I waited. Don't you think this is a little sudden? I asked when she broke the news to me. She came over with a diamond ring the size of my student debt and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I mean, 2 months ago you were swiping on bartenders. He's stable, she said, and he treats me like a queen. Yeah, because you're the same age as his daughter. She flinched, but she didn't back down. You of all people should be happy for me. You know how much I've been through. Right. Because heartbreak justifies betrayal. I played the good daughter, the supportive best friend. I helped plan their wedding. I helped write their vows. I smiled at the reception, in the gown she picked for me, while she walked down the aisle to marry my father. But behind that smile, I was planning, because Veronica had secrets, and I had time. It started with the prenatal vitamins in her bag. Then the appointment reminders I saw pop up on her phone when she left it charging in the kitchen. I took pictures, logged dates, and then I contacted Lucas. "Why the hell are you calling me?" He barked the second he picked up. "You might want to sit down," I said. We met at a diner outside the city. He looked rough, dark circles, stubble, twitchy eyes. "Divorce will do that." "She said it was mine?" he asked, mouth dry. "She didn't say anything," I replied, "but the timeline fits." He nodded slowly. "She blocked me after the wedding, said she didn't want drama." I slid the photos across the table. He stared at them for a long time. "That son of a... She told me she was getting an abortion." "She didn't." He ran his hands through his hair. "Jesus Christ." "I don't care what you do with this information," I said. "But if you want to be a father, you should know what's going on." And then I left. Just like that. The next few weeks were quiet. Too quiet. Veronica kept pretending we were besties, kept posting TikToks of our new blended family brunches. My dad bought her a Porsche. She redecorated the entire living room in white and gold, ugly as hell, but he smiled through it. "Isn't she a vision?" he'd say. "Like a fever dream," I muttered. She started getting comfortable, started forgetting I was watching. Until one morning I heard her crying in the kitchen. "I don't know what to do," she whispered into the phone. "He's asking questions. I think Elise told him something." I slipped away before she noticed I was there. I had all the confirmation I needed. The fuse was lit. The blow-up came 2 days before her baby shower. Lucas showed up at the house. My dad wasn't home. Veronica opened the door, saw him, and nearly dropped her smoothie. "What are you doing here?" she hissed. "I want a paternity test," he said, voice low and tight, "before I take this to court." I watched from the staircase. She tried to close the door on him. He forced his way in. "You said it was gone," he growled. "I lied," she snapped. "What was I supposed to do? I needed a way out." "So you used her dad?" "I didn't mean for it to go this far." They didn't see me filming, or hear me slide my phone into my pocket. She cried after he left, screamed into the couch pillows like a banshee. I didn't comfort her. I baked a cake. Lemon poppy seed. Her favorite. Because the party was still on. And the real gift was still to come. I never expected to get along with Veronica, but I played nice, like really nice. The kind of nice that makes people wonder what you're hiding. And trust me, I was hiding a lot. "You always make the best coffee, Elise," she purred one morning, barefoot in my dad's bathrobe. "Old habits," I said, handing her the mug like I hadn't dreamt of throwing it in her face. 2 weeks into their honeymoon return, I had memorized her every routine. When she left for her so-called Pilates, when she texted her friends on the balcony, and, most importantly, when she snooped around my room. Yeah, I caught her. Twice. First time she claimed she was looking for laundry. Second time she said she thought it was the bathroom. My room was upstairs. The bathroom was downstairs. She wasn't just nosy, she was scared, and I was starting to figure out why. I started with her social media. Her Instagram was a gallery of humble brags and inspirational quotes with just enough cleavage to fish for likes. But the real gold was in the comments. A dude named Troy had been leaving thirsty emojis and miss you comments on every other post. Curious, I checked out his profile. A gym rat, tattooed, lived in Miami. And one post from just 3 months ago. A selfie with Veronica at a rooftop bar, captioned, "Love you forever, V had my queen." Interesting. I dug deeper, cross-referencing dates. That Miami trip she claimed was a solo spa retreat? Yeah, Troy was tagged in every beachside cocktail boomerang. She was married to my dad while posting love notes to a guy half his age. I printed out every screenshot, every heart emoji, every timestamp. And then I did what any good stepdaughter would do. I hosted a Sunday dinner. Veronica showed up in a silky pink dress, the kind of thing you'd wear to seduce a millionaire, which I guess made sense. Dad was glowing, like he'd discovered love and Viagra at the same time. I played the perfect daughter. "Wine?" I asked sweetly, pouring them each a glass. I thought we could toast. You know, to new beginnings. We clinked glasses. Veronica sipped. So, Dad, I began, smiling. How was that company gala last week? Oh, it was incredible, he said, grinning. Veronica looked like a movie star. I glanced at her. Yeah, I saw some photos, but weirdly enough, I saw even more photos of her Miami trip. Her eyes flickered. That was before we were married, she said quickly. Oh, totally. Just funny how Troy's still commenting, can't wait to see you again on your pics. You two must really be close. Silence. Dad blinked. Who's Troy? I reached into my purse and slid over a manila folder. Just a little memory lane I put together, I said. For family bonding. He opened it. Photo, after photo, after photo. The room froze. Veronica stood up so fast she knocked her wine over. This is an invasion of privacy. Dad looked up at her slowly. Tell me it's fake. Veronica stammered. It was before. We weren't serious yet. 2 months ago? He barked. We were already engaged. She turned to me, venom in her eyes. You evil little witch. I said, holding up a finger. Stepmom manners. She stormed out. Dad followed, yelling. The front door slammed so hard the wine glasses rattled. I sipped my own glass and smiled. But I wasn't done. This wasn't just about exposing her. It was about ending her. I created a burner Instagram, uploaded every screenshot, tagged Troy, tagged my dad, tagged Veronica. Then I waited. The post exploded. Veronica's DMs were leaked. Troy commented, So this is why you ghosted me? Dad went offline. Veronica went unhinged. She cornered me in the driveway 3 days later. You think you've won? She spat. I don't think, I replied. I know. You ruined my marriage. I laughed. No, sweetheart. You did that the second you slept your way into it. She tried to slap me. I caught her wrist midair. You don't scare me, Veronica. Not anymore. That night, Dad said he needed some space, asked her to leave for a while. She screamed, cried, begged. But I just stood in the doorway. And as she passed me, dragging her designer suitcase across the marble floors she thought she'd own forever, I leaned in and whispered, You should have stayed, my friend. The front door clicked shut, and for the first time in a long time, the house finally felt like home again. 2 weeks. That's how long it took for the entire world around my father and Veronica to burn. And the matches? I lit them with my own hands. After I posted the video, I waited. Not for apologies, not for guilt, but for the destruction to take root. And oh, it did. Like wildfire. The first spark came 3 hours after the upload. The local gossip blog picked it up. Young woman exposes stepmother's sinister secrets. Then came the parenting forums, the true crime subreddits, the expose YouTubers who ran with the title, Wife of Wealthy Widower Manipulates Daughter Out of Inheritance. Then someone from the past I thought I'd buried, sent me a message. Andrew, the guy I told Veronica I had a crush on back in high school. The same guy she seduced the next day just to prove she could. He wrote, Elise, I saw your video. If you ever need anything, I'm here. I'm sorry for what happened. I never knew. I didn't reply. I smiled. Because Veronica was finally exposed for the venomous snake she was. The next morning, I got the call. Dad. He didn't yell, didn't threaten. He just said, We need to talk. Come home. So I did. But I brought my backbone with me this time. I walked into the living room and saw them both sitting there, him on the recliner, hands wrung tight, and her on the edge of the couch, mascara streaked like war paint. You embarrassed us, Veronica hissed the moment I stepped in. Dad held up a hand, stopping her. He looked at me. Really looked. His voice was low, tired. Is it true? I didn't flinch. You saw the receipts. He closed his eyes for a long second. When he opened them again, I saw something in his eyes I hadn't seen since Mom died. Regret. Veronica jumped up. She's lying. She edited everything. She's just jealous of what we have. Shut up, Dad snapped. And for the first time, he didn't look like her puppet. He turned to me. I was blind. I wanted so badly to feel normal again, to believe someone could love me after losing your mom. And you chose her? I said. You chose her over your own daughter. Veronica tried again. She's manipulating you. She always wanted to split us up. Enough, Dad growled. He stood, walked over to the liquor cabinet. He poured himself a drink with shaking hands. She's pregnant, he finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. My breath caught. With your child? I asked. He nodded, slowly. But I don't know if it's mine. Silence. For the first time, the power shifted in the room. Veronica's eyes widened. How dare you say that? She cried. He stared at her. Because I saw the texts, the ones Elise didn't post. He looked at me again. You knew, didn't you? I nodded, slowly. I was saving it, in case I needed a finale. The next week was a spiral. Veronica moved out, this time for good. Dad kicked her out after confirming the baby wasn't his. She begged, screamed, threatened legal action. But she had no prenup, no leverage, and no more secrets to hold over him. Dad gave her enough money to get lost. And then he turned to me. He wanted reconciliation, forgiveness, even asked if I'd consider moving back in. But I couldn't, because something in me had snapped for good. Dad, I told him, you didn't just choose her. You watched her poison me, and you stayed silent. I was afraid, he admitted, and I lived with that fear every single day. I moved out of state shortly after, started over, used the small inheritance my mom left me, the one Veronica almost stole, to start a design firm. And guess who joined as my first partner? Andrew. Yeah, we talked, a lot. He wasn't the jerk I thought he was. Not anymore. Turns out sometimes people grow. And sometimes revenge isn't about burning others. It's about lighting your own way forward. 3 months later, I received a package. Inside was a photo. Me, as a child, sitting between my mom and dad, smiling, happy. On the back, a note. I'm sorry I forgot who we were. I hope one day we can rebuild. Dad. I keep it in a drawer, not out of anger, but as a reminder of how easily love can be replaced by desperation, of how important it is to protect your own peace, and of how sweet it is to watch someone else's kingdom fall when you finally decide to walk away.